Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. There we go, that's better. So the first thing I'm going to say is that I actually did not write anything down because I wanted to speak from the heart this morning. So forgive me if it's not as eloquent and organized as it should be. And I'm also very grateful that that hymn we just sang, was Precious Lord, because it was one of my grandmother's favorite hymns. And I actually sang it at her funeral. So every time I hear that hymn, I sort of feel like my grandmother is present, and I kind of need her here with me right now. When I was thinking about what I would say this morning about the wonderful organ project that we have going on and all the improvements that we're making to our space that we share, I started, this one word started coming to my head like over and over and over, and that word is community. And so I Googled community very quickly, and what I came up with is that the etymology of it is that it comes from the Latin word communities, which is a group of people who share sources or resources, I should say, services and resources. And if you break it down even further, it's really con, which is with, and munire, which is provide services or goods. And so really it's this concept of a group of people who come together to share. And it's if you think about it, we do that every Sunday in this meal that we share, where we share the body and blood of Christ. And we call that meal communion. Right, so there we are at the root of that word. I mean, we practice this act of sharing as a group every week. But even more than that, community, I would like for us to think of the community that we build here at Holy Trinity on several different levels. There is the community, obviously, that we come together and we have, that we celebrate Mass every week. We are a community primarily and firstly of people who worship God. But the community that we build here at Holy Trinity extends beyond these walls. We are also a community that welcomes people who may not necessarily believe in God. And we welcome people who maybe worship God in different ways. We are at the heart of who we are. Our culture is one of invitation and welcome. We invite people to come into our doors as they are. And that's one of the things that I first fell in love with about Holy Trinity, is that we welcome everyone here. And one of the ways that we welcome people is through our wonderful music ministry. And I say music ministry because I often think that we have a way of separating what we do here musically, like with the concerts and everything, from what we do on Sunday morning and hopefully through the rest of the week through our lifting up of God and all that we're called to do as Christians. But I think of them as very much intermingled with each other, because the music that we do here is one of the ways that we get people to come into the door. It's one of the greatest ambassadors of welcoming people into Holy Trinity from all different aspects of life that we have here. And so I would invite us to just not think of those things as separate, but to think of them as all working together. So there is that community. But there's also a greater community, and it's really, I think of this as like the community of saints, past, present, and future. And we, the community in the past, they were stewards of all that we're enjoying right now. The building, we're sharing the organ, like all of the things that we share from people who were part of this community before and are no longer here. And then there's the people who are to come after us. And right now is our turn. We are the stewards of all that is that we call Holy Trinity. And so we're called upon to do that thing that I was talking about when I was explaining the definition of community, which is to pull together our resources and all that we have which, as we're reminded from time to time, were really God's to begin with. And as they were given to us, we should give them joyfully back to God and in service of worshiping God. And so I would just ask you to think about, when you're thinking about how you can personally contribute to what's going on here, to think about that you are reflecting that sense of community in your gifts, that you're part of a larger community than what's sitting here now. And the last thing I'll say is just invite you to think about 5 years ago when we were in the grips of the pandemic and we couldn't all be here as we are right now. Thankfully, we live in a time where technology allowed us to still worship together as a community, but think about when we used to do music back then and we would, sing online and what that felt like. And then think about, just close your eyes right now and think about the first Sunday when we were back together and you heard the organ for the first time. Like, even just talking about it now, it almost brings tears to my eyes, because there is something very physical about what the organ provides for us. It's this beautiful, it's this sonic reflection of all of God's creation, all of the beauty, this greatness, this grandeur that's reflected in what happens when you feel the organ. It's not just in your ears, but it's a full body experience. And so what we're doing now is we are building something even greater than what we have now, which is wonderful, but what we'll have in a couple of years will be even greater than that. And it will be something that will outlast every single person in this room. That future stewards will be able to stand up here and talk about, isn't it wonderful that those people provided us with an organ? Well, that's us. So the last thing I want to do is just offer just a short little prayer. God of creation, God of all things beautiful and wonderful, God who gave us all of our senses to hear and to feel and to taste, to smell all that is wonderful about creation. We give you thanks today for those who came before us, for their selfless sacrifice, for all that they have left us. And we give you thanks today for all who will come after us, that they will be able to enjoy the things that we do now, as well as the things that have been done for us. We ask you to help us remember that every beautiful thing, every aesthetically pleasing thing that we add to all that already exists at Holy Trinity is really a reflection of your entire creation. Help us to remember that you called on us to love one another as you loved us. And part of that expression of love is how we care for your creation. We ask all those things in your name. Amen.